Hello, Mystical Fairy Collective. Happy Scorpio Full Moon. Happy Beltane. And I've been guided to offer some alternative viewpoints around this full moon. Yes, it is a Scorpio full moon that can bring us to really get in touch with our depth and with our shadow. But what I'm hearing is that one thing that keeps getting left out of the narrative, because there's just so much on social media hype about like what you should do, what it's going to be when it comes to full moons. And I think that what gets left out is that everybody has such a unique role and timeline energetic. And so the folks who have done a lot of their shadow work and have already visited a lot of the depths are not going to have to keep doing that. And actually, one of my favorite astrologers kind of touched on this. He was just alluding to the fact that like we don't have to keep bringing up the old stuff. And I couldn't agree more. But even further along on that thought for me, what was coming in from spirit was that this can be an incredible time and day of surprise and delight. So if you're someone who, and I really suspect there are these folks who are attracted to these messages and who are in this collective. If you're someone who has already like done a lot of work visiting your depths, okay, you've already been there, and a lot of people have, but not everybody has been willing to like lean in and to feel it. If you've done that kind of work, allow this time to not necessarily be about more work, but to be about celebration, okay? And to be about, like, I'm thinking about Beltane and the fires. It's like you're burning off all that old stuff with a sense of joy, with a sense of release, with a sense of abandon. And, Beltane is about, divine union and fertility and spring and the new excitement, like the new things coming to fruition. So what I'm really hearing is there's this balance, like, it's sort of that idea that like the people who experience the highest levels of joy are the ones that have actually visited the lowest depths of despair. Okay. And Scorpio Moon and the Scorpio energies make that possible because it has facilitated our visit to the deepest depths. And so in some ways, it's also about appreciating and celebrating what you have done so far in terms of allowing yourself to go there, because that is what propels you to the highest height of highest heights. You get what I'm trying to say. But that's what propels you to the levels of bliss and ecstasy that you feel, is having visited the grief, despair, and sorrow that you felt. Okay. And so I'm really like, spirit's really showing me the yin and yang, and just that balance of dark and light. And, thinking about, the images of Beltane in regards to the fire, in the darkness, like thinking about, we, unfortunately here in Georgia, please, send rain wishes to us because we are still in a drought and we're still on a no burn order. And obviously really want to respect that and respect Mama Gaia, what she's needing right now. But if that wasn't the case, I would be having a bonfire in my backyard tonight, just to have that experience. But yeah, like honoring the duality, honoring the sacred duality of dark and light, despair and joy. They're two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. And so this is not a time of shadow work. This is a time of like delight and wonder and excitement and fun and like sparking the energy, because it's that energetic of like new beginnings, like exciting new beginnings and fiery new beginnings, because that's spring. That is the seed being planted. I think you get the idea. I hope that this alternative perspective fuels you into a beautiful Scorpio moon and a beautiful Beltane. And you saw me shuffling my cards. It's because I have the intention moving forward to be doing a collective reading on full moons and new moons, but please be patient with me because I'm still moving into the realm of how I'm going to do my readings. in this context. But this is sort of just a little preview of the idea that like I'm going to start incorporating readings into my content. And you know what? Let's just pull 3 cards. Why not? Let's just pull 3 cards just to kind of get things going. Okay, and I'm going to show you all these cards that I pull. I'm not going to read reversals right now. First card pull, okay? I don't think there could be a more perfect complement to what I was talking about because, you know, justice is about the scales being balanced. She's got the scales, okay, to represent that sacred balance that I was just talking to you about. But she's got the sword, which is like the air signs, the power of the mind to cut through, right? So like if you're on social media and you're taking in all these messages about how you're gonna go to the depths and, you know, release so much grief and that's good. Like, again, like that work is tremendously valid. Like it's what has gotten us here today, but it's not the whole story. There's a balance. And also, to me, the scales of justice have to do with the fact that, you know, if you've done a tremendous amount of shadow work, the justice is the joy. The justice is the joy. Love this. This is like, okay, so Ace of Wands, they call it rods in the Morgan group. This is that initial spark of new beginnings that I was talking about in terms of the Beltane and in terms of spring, fertility, igniting, you know, that new energy of like something brand new starting out. And like this seed, yeah, this is great. This is a fiery spark of new inspiration, creativity, all the things, which to me is like, we can't, you know, part of why I was driven to make this, to do this reading and to talk and to do this channeling is because, you know, Spirit was kind of like, Scorpio moon isn't just about the depths. It's about the height, okay? We kind of said this, and this is like something that keeps getting reiterated, so just bear with me if I'm seeming redundant, but you cannot have the peak inspiration without the depth. I mean, most amazing, talented artists have had to visit the depths in order to create. I'm not saying that always has to be a precursor, but it most certainly is a common one. And then lastly, one of my favorite cards in the deck, Queen of Swords. She is discerning. She is holding her boundaries. No apologies, okay? Because she knows what she wants. She knows how also to speak her truth. Her truth is the sword cutting through illusion, okay? So ultimately, the scales being balanced through the despair and the bliss and the spark of new inspiration is part of what is fueling her discernment, her ability to cut through all of the 3D nonsense that gets fed to us all the time. So perfect reading to complement the channel that I was describing. And I think this is a great new precedent because part of what my intention was when I sat down to do this was, let me start incorporating the tarot into, because it's been a place of deep study for me in the past couple of years. It's, you know, something I've been studying every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. And so Spirit was like, okay, start bringing it into your channeling sessions. And that's what I did. It made this a lot longer. Hopefully you stuck with it though. And again, so many blessings on this Scorpio full moon. So much love and light to you on this fantastic Beltane. And keep coming back for more. There'll be more tarot. There'll be more channeling. There'll be more reading. Love you so much.